Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone from beautiful northern New Mexico. So good to be with you all. If you probably am noticing, I am in my car. Um, it turns out today, as you all know, I can't do a reliable live feed from where I live because the internet goes up and down a lot, and so I have to find other places to do it. And we are having a bout of very high winds today, so all the places I normally go to do satsang, um, it was so noisy and so much wind that I couldn't do it. So I'm just actually sitting here in the park, in the beautiful Pecos National Historic Park, in my car, which is great. I've got a little AC adapter. I hook everything up. You wouldn't believe all the wires that are spread around my car right now, with, with my laptop in my lap. So, welcome to satsang, everyone. Doesn't really matter where it is. Let's not forget that Krishna gave Arjuna satsang right there on the battlefield, right? Uh, in the midst of a battle. So, uh, I guess if he can do that, I can get away with doing it in a park, and in my car, parked in a park, in my car. So once again, welcome everyone. It is so good to see you all. So good to be with you again. I would not, it takes a dire emergency to get me to cancel uh, satsang. Either a dire emergency or a retreat with my own master. Other than that, I will be here. So just remember that satsang is unscripted. We don't know we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what questions are going to come up for people. We don't know what answers are going to come out of my mouth. We don't know anything, and that is without a doubt the most the most wonderful experience in the world. To realize that we really don't know anything. Well, actually, there's one thing we know. One thing, and one thing only. And that is, I am. The sense I am. The sense of your own being. It is the one undeniable, self-validating, and totally objective fact. You are. Now, on the surface, that seems like, well, yeah, but so what? And what's next? But looking closer, looking much closer, we realize that all those questions about what's next and so what and what's this is all about and what does that mean and what do I get out of it, etc. That all of that is actually just the mind looking for an answer that's satisfying to the mind. When I say the word mind, what I mean are patterns of thoughts. So repetitive, habitual patterns of thought are always looking for some new object, some new thought, some new form. And so the existential quest, the quest of satsang, the quest of genuine non-dual inquiry, is into those places that the mind cannot go, where the mind can't find an answer, where the mind can't grab some kind of an object and hold on to it. Your sense of existence is like that. It is denial, isn't it? It is undeniable. Yeah, you can't negate it. And when we begin to explore that, we discover that that sense of existence has been there from your earliest experience to this present moment, and it's never changed. So put your attention there, even as I'm speaking. Take it out of the mind for a minute, questions and concerns and stuff that's maybe coming up for you all. And just for a moment, let all of your attention settle into this simple sense of being. And just feel the isness of it, the fact of it. And notice that it has been the same for your entire life. And what do you think? You think maybe even prior to this life that sense of existence has been there? Just saying. Just saying. That sense of existence having been so consistent and so unchanging, does it feel like it had a beginning where it could have an end? This is the kind of inquiry that is direct, it's non-dual, and it's based completely on your own experience. It has nothing to do with any thoughts or ideas or concepts or anything you've learned. Right? You don't need any of that. In fact, it can just confuse the issue. This is a direct seeing and using as a reference point to everything else that simple sense of being. Even right now, if there are questions emerging, you have questions about whatever it is you happen to be experiencing, right? Just step out of that mind stream just for a moment into that simple sense of being. And see if there are any problems there. Yes, there can be feelings running through your body. But without any thought about it, without the mind going, this is a problem, or this is terrible, I wish it was different, which are just thoughts. Right? Just experience whatever happens to be happening in this moment, but from this place of simple, direct seeing, of just being present, aware of your own being. And isn't it obvious that if that sense of being wasn't there, nothing else would be possible? Nothing else would exist, at least from your point of view, right? You are the prerequisite for all experience. And I don't care what that experience is in this moment. Don't become engaged in the mind and its chatter and all of the stuff that comes up. Stay with this sense of being. Now this staying with this sense of being is the ultimate inquiry, and it's the ultimate meditation. Nisargadatta, one of the greatest sages of all times, said that his guru told him to simply focus on that sense I am. the sense of being, exactly what I'm saying to you. And he did, to the exclusion of all else. He was a householder, he had businesses, he had stuff to do. He wasn't a rich man, he only had these little kiosks where he sold cigarettes, right? But every spare moment he had, he devoted to just sitting with the sense of I am. That was, and he said the only reason he did it is because his guru told him to. And he believed him and he trusted him. This sense of I am, if you hold to it, it will eliminate all earthly problems. It will dissolve all doubt, and it will resolve, harmonize every human problem. That's it. That's all you have to do. But let that be your ongoing regular meditation. It is so simple, and yet at the same time it's so difficult. But it's so difficult simply because we are so busy trying to engage with the mind. And the mind, because it's a habit, it's a little hamster in a wheel turning. Right? It is forever trying to grab attention back to it. And because for our entire lifetimes we have let our attention engage with the mind, it seems difficult now to disengage with the mind and put your attention on something that is motionless, still, empty, free of all reference points, free of all thought. And yet, this is the one thing that is needed. And you'll notice it's the one thing that's not done in any kind of practice or process, be it personal development or spiritual. This meditation you will only find in the path of Vedanta. And except in or in Zen. Those are the only places you will find it. And yet it is the direct path to awakening. And what is awakening? Simply the sense of I comes home and rests in that changeless sense of being. And then you not only are the self, you know it. And it is the end of all suffering. So, as I said, this is unscripted. I had no idea where I was going to go when I pushed the live button, and well, now we know where that is. So let's go back and say hello to everyone, and your questions are now welcome. But let your questions come from this exploration of the direct path, of this direct seeing. Okay? Hello, Penny. So good to see you. Penny in rainy and cloudy British Columbia. Sue, hi GP to everyone in beautiful New York. Sue A. So pretty this time of year. Indeed. Yes, New York is beautiful this time of year. Rosario in Spain. Nazrin in Ireland. Hello, hello. Hello, Ava. John Sheehan also in Ireland. Good to see you. Good to see you. Faith, hello, my sheik. And everyone from Algeria. Beautiful. Kuhulika, namaste to GP and all of you. Thank you for all the transformational insights you give. You're very welcome. October Paul, hello, sir. Portland, Maine. Ursula in Portugal, hello to you. Sarah in France. Liza on the East Coast. David and Elaine, from Southeast England. Good to see you. Sarah says, thanks for putting in the extra effort. Must admit, not seeing you in satsang puts a damper on my week. Okay, well, satsang is always with you. It's always with you. Whenever you stop for a moment and turn your attention towards that silent presence in the heart of you, you are in satsang. Remember, satsang simply means communion with truth, communion with my being. Satsang. Sang is communion, sat is truth or being. Every moment you stop, just for a second, take your attention off all the busyness, turn it inside to feel that sense of presence. In that moment, you're in satsang. Right. So let satsang be this everyday thing. This thing that happens so much, it becomes commonplace. I just had to laugh because the park ranger that knows me now, she's asked me several times what I do. She's seen me in another place. She's waving. Very good. Roberto, hello, sir. So good to see you. Greetings, GP, from Durban, South Africa. Hello, Russell. Good to see you. Sue McIntosh, also from South Africa. So wonderful. Kathleen, in your car in the park in the midst of a battle with your full and overflowing heart and voice. Thanks, Doc. Thank you. Thank you, Kathleen. Mary Sykes, hello, GP, and all that are here. Roberto, I have done some of your EFT over the weekend. I'm very afraid, GP. I've got cold going through my body. What can I do to make my most out of my life, GP? I have noticed I have not enjoyed it to the full. Well, my dear friend, first off, I really want you to acknowledge the enormous progress you've made over the last several months. Yeah, many months that we have been communicating, right? And there is still in you this desire, this mistaken notion that somehow my freedom will be when my external circumstances change. Then I will enjoy my life. Then I will be free of fear. But if our sense of freedom and joy and happiness has any external dependence whatsoever, you're not free. You will be forever going up and down on the roller coaster, trying to control life, trying to find ways to control life. When I do EFT, or I teach people how to do EFT, it's not about controlling. It is about helping the body relax into accepting things as they are without an argument. When that happens, the whole system begins to feel safe. Right? If you're trying to change it, even on a very subtle level, the nervous system detects that as an attack, and it has to defend itself from it. So you've got a cold going through your body. I wake up in the morning with congestion and different kinds of things. Right? The only difference is I don't have a story about it. Right? I don't make my mind wants to create a story. You're coughing. Oh my God, you got COVID, right? But it's just a thought in my mind. That's all it is. And I have learned to separate the experience I'm having from my thoughts about that experience. And of course, you've been suffering because those thoughts in your case have all been all the terrible things that can happen, and all the stuff, COVID-19 and all sorts of things that can happen to me. But it's all thought. That's all it is. It's just a thought. So when you're doing the tapping, go, oh, I've got this cold. Oh my God, it's going to hurt me. Oh my God, it's going to kill me, right? You can voice it like that. Don't be afraid to do that, because the nervous system picks that up as you not arguing with it, not running away or trying to force it to be different, which means it doesn't have to defend itself against you. Are you following that? Right. The thing for us to let go of is the idea that we need or want anything to be different than it is right now. I need something to be different in order to be safe, in order to be happy, in order to be content, in order to feel like I'm getting the most out of life. The only reason you don't get the most out of life is because your mind is never content with this moment. It always wants something else. And folks, this isn't just you, Roberto. This is the human condition. The mind will never stop wanting something else. You have to understand that. The nature of the egoic mind is dissatisfaction. It will always be discontent, and so it will always be seeking something, some kind of remedy. It'll always be finding fault with this moment. It will always be saying, this is wrong. This needs to be different. It will work itself into a tizzy. It'll terrify itself, and it'll labor endlessly to try to fix things, to change things. But it cannot succeed. It can't do it, because the egoic mind itself is conditioning. It is unstable, it is unreliable, and it is always discontent. When you are feeling discontent, cut off, alone, scared, you are identified with the egoic mind. Pull back. Pull back to that place of simply observing it and recognize deep in your heart that these are patterns of thought and not reality. What's reality? You, the one watching. What happens in your body doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Your body's more than capable of dealing with whatever comes up. But your mind makes up stories about it. Your mind thinks it has to deal with it. Your body is the end result of literally billions of years of evolution. You are the son of the winners, right? You didn't get filtered out on the evolutionary path. Your strain won the genetic race, right? Which means your body is the most fit thing there is. It is the most flexible. It is the most malleable. It is the most adaptable. It is the pinnacle of creation. Why in the world would you entertain a thought in your mind that says somehow the mind, which is relatively recent to the party, right? Very recent if you look at it in geological time, that it knows better than the body? So the mind says, oh my God, a cold. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Your body isn't saying, oh my God, oh my God. It's just going to work. Surrounding the little intruders with white corpuscles and, sending it out your nose. And I mean, it's not that pleasant from our experience, but your body knows exactly what to do. Trust in the wisdom of life. Come to see that your mind is the absolute wrong tool for the job. Your mind trying to take care of the body is like the massage therapist giving a massage with a hammer. It's the wrong tool, right? And it's not going to be a pleasant experience if you use the wrong tool. Okay? So sink into the sense of being. When I was talking about that in the beginning, this isn't just a place to go as a relief. It is the answer. It is the ultimate freedom from everything. It is perfection itself, and it's already present. Right? Take that to heart, Roberto. Right? And I am here for just as long as you need me. Oh, dear friend, I love you so much. Brian in Virginia, good to see you, Brian, and thank you for joining me on the show, the radio show. It was so good, so very, very good to see you there, to hear your voice again after all of those years. It is really wonderful. Flow, is that what it is? Yeah, flow. Yes. And those of you who want to join me on the show every Tuesday, it's, I guess I can put it here, HTTP. I can put it in the chat. I think you'll see it. gpwalsh.com/flow. I've called the radio show The Flow of Enlightenment. Trying to very much be very human in my teaching of non-dual, especially for people who've never even heard of any of this stuff, which the lovely woman who's hosting it for me, my on-air producer, who the show wouldn't have happened without her, the first she ever heard of non-duality or any of this stuff was from me. And a couple months later, we did the show together because she wanted to share it. So her questions are very fresh, they're innocent, they're just... it's really perfect for a radio show. It's not satsang, right? We're not going to be, doing all the stuff like this. It's much lighter. It's more like a show. It's broken up into segments. So anybody who would like to join me in that, you can actually call in and ask a question, and we get to talk, which is really good, really good. So, Anja in Germany, I love being here with you. I love being with you too. And hello, GP. So nice to see you. G. Gudeman, good to see you too, sir. Barbro, hello. Barbro in Sweden. Ava, your innumerable inventive ideas were from to broadcast for us. Yes. Isn't it wonderful? I mean, I'm sitting in my car, for crying out loud, and I'm talking to people all over the world. I mean, it's pretty miraculous. Clearly the Dharma wants to be spread upon the earth, right? Seeing on a computer video and I mean, it's pretty remarkable that I can just park somewhere where I get at least 3 bars on my phone, and we're talking. It's incredible. Roberto, I want to get rid of all my fears, but don't know how, GP. Stop trying to get rid of them. The more you fight them, the deeper they get. You think that the answer to your problems is getting rid of your fears. It isn't. It's transcending them. Look at fear. This is for everybody, not just for Roberto. Look at your fear. Look at your fear closely. What is it? Take the mind out of the picture, what the mind says it is, and just be present with the feeling in the body. And then watch how the mind wants to jump in. And every time the mind jumps in, it gets worse, doesn't it? Well, that's a clue that the mind is not the reliable source here. By the way, one of my students in my EFT class has said maybe Roberto would like to connect up with some of us. She actually sent me a text. If you would like to connect with some of my students for EFT that are more than willing to help you with some free private sessions, let me know, Roberto. Just send an email to support@gpwalsh.com. As a matter of fact, there's anybody here who would, because this is part of their training, is to find people to work with. So anybody here who would like to get some nice complimentary EFT sessions with people I myself have trained and I'm certifying, just send an email to me, support@gpwelsh.com, and I will connect you up with them. There'll be more. You have many of them, about 22 of them. They'd be more than happy to give you to do their best to help. So it's a resource that's available to you. But first and foremost, you don't need to get rid of your fears. You need to understand them. When you don't understand them, you're afraid of the fears and you try to get rid of them, right? It's coming from an ignorance. When you understand what they really are, they disappear. They may linger in the body for a while, but it won't matter. You're free. Anne, hello Anne, good to see you. Good to see you. John in Glasgow, hello sir. Christine in Germany, Georgia B, and the gang. Hi Georgia. From Other G, yeah, from Georgia G. Nazrin, over a year ago, I had no idea what you were talking about when I started following your satsang. Now I feel more connected, free, and creative. I'm very thankful to you. You are my guru. Wow. Thank you, Nazrin. You know what's interesting? I've heard this before. People say, I have no idea what he's talking about, right? But for some reason you keep coming. Something inside acknowledges it and stays with it. I had somebody tell me that the other day. Their daughter listened to me and said, I don't understand a word he's saying, but I just feel so peaceful. That's why you keep coming back. And you keep coming back and the understanding comes. The whole picture starts to begin to become clear. And it is a most glorious thing. And notice you didn't have to make that happen, right? And if that sense of peace there and that sense of trust is there, well, you simply follow my directions. Just the way Nisargadatta followed his directions, and I follow his. He followed his guru's direction. I follow his. I follow my own guru. When he says, just put your attention on the sense I am, that's what I do. Right? But you can't force yourself to do that. Something inside kind of leads you there. You feel the tenderness, the love, the lack of judgment, the lack of criticism. And we respond to that. Your whole energy responds to it. So, thank you, Nazrin. So beautiful. So beautiful. Sue A. I can be in the now easily, but it's hard not to label things. And then the mind starts again. How to stay in the now is challenging. Don't believe that thought. How do you stay in the now? Tell you what, Sue. Right now, try to not be in the now. See if you can. Just go ahead. Try to get out of right now. How you doing? How successful you being? Right. So now don't fight with your mind, right? Oh, it's hard not to label things. You're not labeling things. Your mind is. And your mind needs to, right? If we didn't label things, I would be sitting here talking. You'd have no idea what I was saying. You couldn't follow me, right? We need to be able to say, that's a tree. This is a car, right? This is satsang. We need to be able to do that, right? The thing is that we've gotten indoctrinated into the idea that our thought or label for the thing is actually the thing. So you just notice that that's what the mind does. It labels things. Because if there's no label, there's no mind. You follow that? And then recognize that you're always in the now, that you're in the now, observing the mind labeling things. Right? But the mind can't be there and label things if you're not there to see it, can it? I mean, if you're not there, there's not a mind wandering around here somewhere looking for an owner, right? You know, looking far and yonder to try to find an owner. Mind does not exist without you in this present moment aware of it. So just notice, you're always in the now, but the mind never is. It's right. And so there's this idea that, oh, I got to be in the now. I got to get in the now. Right? It's just an idea. Where else are you? Are you in the then? Are you simply present with right now? And the mind happens to be functioning. Okay, it'll function for as long as it does. Right? And you are always witnessing it from the here and the now. Right? And the now then, when it's taken by the mind, right, it becomes some kind of an experience, like now is an experience I'm having. And you say, okay, I can easily be in the now. And all that means is there are times when you're fully aware of being in the now and the mind is quiet and it's very, very satisfying, content. It's like, oh, wow, this is nice. And then we want to hold on to and cling to that feeling. Right? Don't cling to any feeling. Every feeling is going to come and go. Even the feeling of now. Now is not a feeling. It is the reality of your being. It's where you always are. And so just continue to remind yourself, oh, where else am I? The now is, it's more than where you are. It's what you are. The now is simply another word for the self. And our leading expert on the now, Eckhart Tolle, says just that. It's just another name for myself. I am the present. I'm not in the present. I am the present. Because I am the presence that even makes the now. Presence being, I am. Does that answer it for you, Sue? Johanna in Jalisco, Mexico. Hello, Johanna. Oh, so good to see you again. Gulsin in Turkey. Hello, sir. Hello, sir, to you. That's right here in Turkey. Isn't this great? We have Turkey and Serbia. We have Algeria, South Africa, all over Europe. Man, this is amazing. Hello, Heather. Good day from Heather in Glen Mills. Hello to you. Marlo. Hello, G, and everyone from Michigan and Wisconsin. Hello, Marlo. Lovely, Marlo. Marlo is another one of my soon-to-be certified EFT masters. So good, so good, so good. John. Hi, GP. Would you advise us to set an hourly reminder on our phones when prompted by the hourly alarm? We go to the I Am. Multiple daily solo satsangs. If you feel so inclined, yes, do so. Right? Yeah. You know, I'm always reluctant. No, I'm not reluctant. I just downright refuse to give somebody any kind of a regular practice. Right? Now, because when the teacher gives a practice, oftentimes the students say, "Oh, teachers got to do a practice. We got to do it." Right? And then it becomes a burden. Right? The teacher is a pointer. Right? Not really a teacher, a pointer. Right? So if you think that would be helpful, to just set a timer to go, yes, that's right, and just take a moment to bring your attention back to the sense of I am, then do it. And see how it works. You know, if you can, let's say every hour or so, right? Do it for 5 minutes. Great. I mean, you may be at work or something, you can't actually do that. So then maybe you can't, right? But even a split second, just take a moment, take a breath, bring your attention back inside. It breaks the habitual pattern of attention going outward, so that you can recognize that the attention has to go outward, right? Otherwise we can't. It's got to go outward now for me. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to do this, right? You wouldn't all want to get on satsang with me while I'm going for 2 hours. I don't think I don't think I'd have any visitors, right? You go, what's this guy doing? This is right? Dead air. So, but that's a temporary measure, because what you really want to do is, it doesn't. I want this to become something you do because you love it, right? It's a reminder simply because of our habit energy. So go ahead, set a reminder, but also set aside a chunk of the day. Get up an hour earlier, just to focus on that sense of I am, and notice how much the mind wants to pull the attention away from it. Right? But don't do it as a discipline, please. Don't do it. The guru said get up an hour earlier. No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. These are all just suggestions, ideas, right? Because what we really want to do is cultivate such a love of the self that you don't need a reminder, right? You don't need a reminder to think about the person you're in love with, right? You don't. It just happens quite spontaneously. But I agree that at the beginning, the habit energy is so strong, and it does not want to focus there, simply because, as far as the mind is concerned, there's nothing there to see, right? That it can take some effort and some discipline, which is why Nisargadatta said the only reason he did it is because his guru told him to, and he believed him. He trusted him, right? So just give your time to it, right? And you'll notice, and this is subtle, because on one hand they say it's a discipline, right, to do that, but you can't maintain the discipline if you do it because I say so, or because Nisargadatta said so, or Muji said so, or Ramakrishna said so, right? You trust in that and you explore it, because they wouldn't tell you this stuff if it wasn't true. If there wasn't something to get there, right? So even if the beginning, if it seems to take some effort, let it be a surrender to the guru. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about that inner desire of you to know yourself as you really are. Because that's the desire at the center of this universe. Knowing yourself as you really are. That's every desire we have for everything external, the circumstances that we want to have, the things to make us feel safe or happy or prosperous, right? What we're really seeking is to know ourselves. In ignorance, the mind seeks them in different or better conditions, be they physical conditions or emotional conditions or financial conditions. The mind seeks happiness there because it doesn't know any better. And it can't see. Its ideas of happiness are objects, they're conditions, they're circumstances, they're people, places, and things. And so when you turn within, the mind first turns within and is looking for the people and places inside. Right? It's like, Abraham Hicks in the vortex, right? Right? Everything's in the vortex. So everybody's going, okay, so they imagine now there's this place where all the stuff they want is, right? Well, of course, there is no vortex. There's no, big bank vault in the sky where all the stuff you want is sitting there, right? The truth is it's formless being. So when you're turning inside, you're not turning towards something or some condition or some person or some place. You're turning towards the essence of your own being. Every desire is actually the desire for the self. To know yourself as you actually are. And that is what satisfies all earthly desires. They're just quenched. They're not necessarily thrown away, right? They are subsumed into the transcendent you, which is The I am is the essence and source of everything. The I am is the substance of the universe. How's that, John? Faith. What is the body, sir? What do you mean when you say deep in your heart? Well, the body is simply a collection of a particular kind of functioning. It's not a sentient entity. It's not an entity at all. Right? it is simply a collection of little entities which are made up of collections of little entities. If you really look closely, what you find is the body is simply a momentary flow of energy. There's no permanence to it. There's no self in it. There's no self-awareness in it. There's no sentience. It is to our minds, we make the body into this thing, right? A very good example is maybe you've seen videos, or maybe you've seen in person, starlings murmuring, right? It's where starlings fly in kind of in unison, but they form these incredibly hypnotic patterns in the sky. And the very first time I saw one, I had no idea. I'd never seen one before. I was sitting in Coyote Park by the San Francisco Bay. I was just sitting by myself, pondering things, and off in the distance I saw this amorphous form, right? And it was so far away that it looked like this solid object in the sky, and I went, what is that? And as it got closer, I began to see that it was made up of little bits, right? That it wasn't this solid object. And as it got closer and closer, I began to actually see these birds flying together, right, forming these incredibly beautiful patterns in the sky. You can look it up on YouTube, starlings murmuring. That's what they call it. Now, from a distance, it looked like a solid object, self-contained, sentient, and like it was a body of some sort. But then, when I looked closer, I found there was no body there. There was a bunch of little things that just happen to be working together. Now, if you zoom in on your body, you'll find exactly the same thing. A bunch of little things working together, temporarily, right? And parts of this collection of things working together die off, and new ones get born, and there's a form that kind of gets maintained over time, and then eventually the whole form just kind of dissolves. But you'll find that there's no thing there at all. There's only a functioning. And then the mind projects upon that as if it was a solid object, like those starlings in the distance that look like a solid object. If they'd stayed in the distance, I might have thought it was some kind of strange phenomena, some kind of strange thing in the atmosphere. But I realized it wasn't. Now, the same thing is true of your body. Now, when I say heart, right, I'm not talking about your physical heart, right? Boom, 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 boom. That is just, it's reflective of the true heart. But when people say heart, they go immediately right here. Not here, here. Something in the center of you. We all intuitively feel it, right? They've given it a name of the heart chakra, and they've have images and that sort of thing. But forget about all of that and the images of it. Your direct experience is when something touches you, you go here, right? Heart refers to the absolute essence of a thing, the heart of the matter, the heart of the issue, the heart of the heart of being. It's a reference to that which is most essential, right? And it's beautiful because it's also a reference to love. It's not just like the heart of an issue, which can be very intellectual. It's heart in the sense of this incredible sense of being. At the heart of you is this simple sense of being. that will in fact outlast, predated and will outlast the physical heart. When it stops and decays, this heart will still be there. You could call it the spiritual heart. So when I say take something deep into the heart, what I mean is really absorb it with all of your energy, all in your enthusiasm, all of your love, all of your passion. Really take it in as an essential insight. That's the true heart of you. And that's why one of the most famous Buddhist sutras of all times is the Heart Sutra. It's not referring to this heart. It's referring to the absolute heart and soul of the Buddha's teaching, which was emptiness. Right? And that even all teaching is transcended in this absolute emptiness. And what's that emptiness? That sense of being that I'm talking to you about. The sense of being I led you to at the beginning of our satsang today. That simple sense of being is the emptiness to which the Buddha was referring. And notice, it's always here. It's empty only that it doesn't have, it's got nothing extra. It is pure being. And out of that pure being arises the universe and everything we know of as beautiful and desirable and interesting. But it all arises out of this shunyata, this emptiness of being. And it all returns there. And you are that. You are that without which nothing else could possibly be experienced. How's that? Faith, faith. Johanna, I've been feeling how wonderful it is to bring my attention to myself as awareness. There are so many answers there, but I can't help but wonder why. It's okay. You should wonder why. Let yourself be increasingly curious as how this simple sense of awareness and how wonderful it feels could give rise to a universe. How does that happen? How does this simple awareness, which you can't touch, feel, think about, it's just this empty presence, how does it give rise to the infinite diversity and complexity and subtlety of a universe? Of a universe that's not even static, that's itself every second different. How in the world does that happen? That's a genuine inquiry. But it's an inquiry into the nature of the awareness itself. In other words, it is a deepening of the sense, who am I? It's okay that that essential why, because the answer to that question is the nature of awareness itself. And more importantly, the realization that you are that awareness. Right? You are not something that has emerged from awareness. Like there's this other awareness out there, aware of you. Right? You know of no other awareness other than yourself. So what is aware of awareness other than awareness? What could be aware of the infinitude and the magnificence and the complexity and beauty of the universe except except that which is bigger and more and transcendent of the universe? The awareness of it. Right? What would the universe be without the awareness of it and the appreciation of it? So it's not just, the awareness is not just the knowingness, it is the love of it. And so just keep bringing your attention to yourself as awareness and let that deepen. And it will answer all questions. And the end result is you will find that what is experienced and you, the experiencer, are not two. This is me, right? And the transcendent recognizes both the essential me and the manifest me, the unmanifest and the manifest, and both are witnessed by the transcendent, that which cannot be spoken, but that which you are. Beautiful, beautiful question, Johanna. beautiful. Oh, you're so on the way. Actually, you're so there. Cheryl, hello, Cheryl. Cheryl in Pennsylvania. Jay, hello, sir. J. I lost you for a second. There you are. Hi, G. I'm currently dealing with a personal situation. I need to make a decision, and there is a clear answer, but I can't act on it right now. My physiological response to the situation is stress. I just sit with the response and whatever thoughts may come, but sometimes I bypass through them to the source, and then immediately another thought arises, and I'm being passive about taking action. Well, Jay, it's something worth looking into, right? If you know what to do but you're not taking action, right, then you should take a step back and let yourself examine what it is. What is it that's there that is not wanting to take action? Right? You're not in a fight with it. You're not trying to get rid of it. But obviously, there's some kind of a conflict. And when there's a conflict, you're going to feel it as stress. So step out of the conflict. Right? You don't have to solve this. You don't have to fix this. You don't have to make this work. Right? There's a sense that this is the direction to go. And there's another sense that is in resistance to doing that. Now, the way to honor yourself with the deepest love is to get right smack dab in the middle, in that place of the heart, and watch both, be present with both sides. Right? Wow, look, there's something that does not want to take this step. Well, look at that. And then you give it some time. All right, what's your resistance to it? What is it you're trying to protect me from? You know, what is it about this that you don't like? It's not a problem you have to get rid of. It's a conflicting energy that needs to be reconciled. Right? And the way to do that is love, presence, not taking sides. Right? Really being the enlightened, loving witness that has no preference for the direction that it goes. Become that. This is the place of the peacemaker, of true allowing. So, something is being passive. It's not you. You are the awareness that is aware of both the decision, the choice, the sense of direction, and the impulse towards passivity to not do it. Right? If it's resistant to do that or reluctant to do that, there's a reason. Right? And believe me, you will never ever lose an opportunity by taking the role of the peacemaker. In fact, it's the only way things actually unfold, because when you do, and a reconciliation takes place between those energies, now when you move forward, all of you is present. All of you is engaged, right? And there's no resistance, right? The safety mechanism is keeping you safe, but it's also engaged in moving you forward. The sense of vision or the direction to go is now being supported rather than resisted. Right? Can you see how that works? Good? You'll let me know. Love you, Jay. Rekha Singh. Beautiful name. Namaste, GP. As usual, a pleasure to be with you. Your presence is so full of kindness, and you exude peace. Just being with you. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Yeah. Well, it says namaste, right? The divinity in me recognizes the divinity in you. The peace in me recognizes the peace in you. Or in this case, the peace in you recognizes the peace in me. And that is that recognition that is felt. And so in this moment, in this field of satsang that we've created, the tendency of the mind to make peace out there somewhere gets set aside, and we respond more naturally, more spontaneously to the energy field of satsang. So, but remember, please, that it is not coming from me, right? That it is coming from you. And you've just hooked into this energy field of satsang enough that that peace is emanating from you. Now, it's always there. Even when you leave satsang and you're engaged in the world, it's always there. And this is the transformation of attention that needs to take place, so that you know that it's always there. It's just a matter of fact to you, and not a feeling that you occasionally experience. It is the reality that is always there. Thank goodness I have a little water. Beautiful. And then J. Otra vez. Being aware of awareness is different from being aware of thoughts and feelings, right? Well, the awareness is obviously the same, right? Whether I'm aware of being aware or aware of thoughts and feelings, the awareness itself has not changed, has it? It's simply a matter of where the attention is going. Aware of being aware is awareness aware of itself. Because what could be aware of awareness other than awareness? And this is non-duality. This is where a self and other disappears. I am aware of myself. Like I did in the beginning, where just you brought your attention to the sense of being. What would be aware of the sense of being? The only thing that could be aware of the sense of being is that which is being. Right? Staying aware of that, what happens is the sense of another self disappears. And you recognize that being, my being, awareness, and awareness of awareness is one. Only awareness is aware of awareness, and we're not two. I am that self. But the actual nature of awareness itself is exactly the same. Right? It's not a different awareness that's aware of thoughts and feelings. It's the same awareness. But the focus of attention on the awareness itself dissolves the imaginary separation of there's awareness and then there's me that's aware of it. There's not a me that's aware of awareness. Awareness is aware of awareness. And this is why you eventually see that awareness is the self. I am awareness. There's not a me that's aware of awareness. I am awareness. I'm not a person. I'm not a body. I am awareness. You follow that? John Sheehan says, like and share. Thank you. Yes, everybody here, take a moment and just hit the like button. And if so inclined, hit the share button, which simply means it shows up on your YouTube feed. Thank you, John. Yes, please do that. It actually does help enormously. It helps YouTube take me seriously, which means more people will be exposed to it. So please take a moment and do that. All you're sitting there right now, it's just really easy. There's a little thing down there. You go, like. Done. One click. Sue A, thank you so much, GP. You explained that beautifully. Good, good. Thank you, Sue. You understood beautifully. Rekha, a question. Can you describe the state in which you reside? Is it a continuous and constant state? Well, yes, awareness is a continuous and constant state. I'm always aware. I'm never not. And also are you. Right? You have to understand, it's not a state. If it's a state, it'll come and go. What we refer to as a state is that when we're really aware of it, right, there's a sense of peace. And so we think the peace is coming and going, but it's only attention that's coming and going, right? The state of being is constant. Are you ever not aware? Just really take that to heart. are you ever not aware? So it's not a state, is it? It's beyond states. It's that which is aware of states. So that is continuous. It is continuous for me. It's continuous for you. Right? The difference is that you're believing your mind that tries to turn the awareness, the awakened state, into an object that comes and goes. That's all the mind can do. Right? All it can do is speak of it as an object, and all objects come and go. But what's aware of the mind? What's aware of things coming and going? The only thing that can be aware of things coming and going is that which is not coming and going. And where are you? Is that not that which is aware of all the coming and going, is that not you? So you are continuous and constant. And it's not a state. It's not an experience. It is prior to and beyond all experience. And without it, there could be no experience. Put your attention there. Right? And just grasp that this is a eternal, unchanging, permanent fact. It is the truth, changeless. And it is you. Because who else is sitting here aware of it? Thank you, Rika. Hello, Robert Hill. Good to see you. Bo Snarsky. Hello, Bo. Hello, G from Kelowna, BC, Canada. Happy to be here, enjoying and very grateful for access to the pure wisdom flowing from and through you. Oh, you're very welcome, Bo. So good to see you. So great, so great, so great. Jay, is there a replay available for the radio show? I went to the link and I couldn't find anything. Yes, here, let me put it here. tpwalsh.com/FO. Oh no. Yeah, just back to the flow. That's where the radio show is. And if you look over on the side, down a little bit, you'll say prior shows. Unfortunately, I wish you would make it bigger. It's a little hard to find, but it is on that page. There's the big banner, and there's a little thing about it. And then over on the right side, when you're looking at it, there's a little blurb. And down below, you'll see a couple little things that say, look at the archives. And you can find it there. So that will be there. John Sheehan. Wow, GP. Thanks so much for your powerful answer. I get it and really appreciate your clarity and patience. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you get it. That's the most important thing. That when the recognition of truth, when we say get it, realize that it's truth recognizing the truth, right? It is the truth that recognizes. It's the namaste. The truth in me recognizes the truth in you. That's why you can go, wow. It's that discerning inner eye. Elias Schwabes. Did I say that correctly? Welcome. I think you're new. Very, very good. Very, very good. Robert Hill. Did you read the book Tibetan Book of the Dead? I listened to it. Seems legit. And there is a distinction between the mind and brain. Can you explain the difference? Thanks. Much love. Boy, I read the Tibetan Book of the Dead probably 50 years ago, 40 years ago. Early on, that was a book that I'd heard about, and I grabbed and there's another one. It's kind of the book Tibetan Book of the Dead and Dying. There's been several offshoots of it that have happened since, talking about the bardo and the kind of the Tibetan view of the afterlife and all of that, which, by the way, is not the non-dual, right? It is not this path. It's not Zen, and it's not this path. It is a different kind of path. Not that it's illegitimate, but it's not this one, right? So they make a distinction between brain and mind. which many neuroscientists, in fact, have, because there's just so much evidence that there's something that seems that is elusive. They cannot really find in structures of the brain. Mind is thought. That's all the mind is. The brain is a thought. It's an image, again, in the mind, right? Now, the materialist point of view is that everything, including consciousness or mind, is the result of some material structure, and therefore they're just determined. It's a preconceived notion. It's an unquestioned assumption. Therefore, they will say, well, we haven't found the structure yet in the brain, but we will, right? We know the answer to everything now. It's just a matter of finding the evidence. And that's faith to me. That is not science. That is not objective. That's pure faith. They just accept this primary assumption that this is the nature of existence. I don't see any difference between that and a fundamentalist who says this is who God is, that's and eventually be proven to be true. Right? So, both mind and brain are appearances to consciousness. Consciousness, from the non-dual perspective, is not an object. It is not a result of anything else. It has no cause. Therefore, it has no beginning and no end. It is timeless. It is outside of time and space. It is that which cognizes, right? But it is irreducible and indivisible. It is the primary substance. It is the logos, the first principle, the word, that which is. Remember, science simply is seeking what is. They recognize at every level of perception, be it the macro, like the universe, or zoomed into a galaxy, or zoomed into a planet, or zoomed into a body, or zoomed into the cells, or zoomed into the molecules, zoomed into the atoms, the subatomic, on and on it goes, that everything is an appearance of something else. And the mission of science has been find what is. If everywhere you look you see appearances, something must be. There must be something irreducible and indivisible. Well, the non-dualist, the Advaitist, absolutely agrees with that. To the scientist, they are looking for an irreducible object, thing. To the Advaitist, the irreducible and indivisible is consciousness itself. And you see little bits and pieces of that emerge even in the scientific community. If that's the case, then mind and brain, mind and stomach, right? Hair and nose, are all simply appearances to and of consciousness. Because they must be of that which is. Right? Which means the consciousness that is aware of the brain and the mind is the actual source of the brain and the mind, which means there is matter, there is only consciousness, and matter is just a concept, given to belief that what I'm experience exists separate from consciousness. Well, if it does, then it got to be made of something, right? So, mind, the brain is inert, At best, you could think of it as like a radio receiver, right? But even that gives it too much credit. Right? Our experience is always, we have this idea of a brain. We don't experience that. We experience mind. We experience the flow and functioning of thoughts, right? Somebody says they originate in the brain. I do not have that experience. Right? I only have the experience of thought. I don't have an experience of a body. I only have the experience of sensation. Right? You never actually experience the body is a thought in the mind. It's a concept given to this complex functioning. My actual direct experience, laying aside everything that I've been taught about it, my actual everyday experience is sensation. That's all I experience. And I assume that the sensations I'm experiencing are originating in some form out there that I call a body. But if I probe it deeply, I have no evidence. I have no evidence whatsoever that there's anything causing that sensation. And so I'm led inevitably to the conclusion that the sensation is actually a modulation of consciousness. And there is no body. There is no brain. There is no matter. And that mind, being nothing but thoughts, is just a different modulation of consciousness. And so there is no mind. There's no body, there's no mind. And now existence is nothing but consciousness. The consciousness that is the unmanifest, the ultimate and only perceiver, and the consciousness that is the manifest, that which is perceived, but the perceiving of the thing and the thing are one. Okay, hopefully that didn't go by all of you. If it did, fine, forget it. Forget that I said it, it's okay. Right? But I'm trying to break it down as deeply as I possibly can. And, well, we'll see what sticks. Thanks, Robert. Greetings from Pakistan. Talha. Oh, beautiful. Pakistan. Are you new? I don't recognize your name, but I think I had one other person from Pakistan. Sue A. I also feel a connection with you, and you are my guru. You remind me so very much of Ramana Maharshi, whom I discovered his teachings years ago. Whoa. Wow. To be put even in the same country with Ramana is like, makes me blush. But his lineage, right? My teacher is Muji, his teacher was Papaji, his teacher was Ramana. So I am of that lineage. Although I also, bring in Zen and metaphysics and other kinds of things that I had learned along the way. But it truly was the teachings of Ramana and Nisargadatta, this thread of Advaita Vedanta that, which is what opened me. So, unlike Ramana, I talk way more than he does. He was known as the silent guru. It's just being in his presence. He did talk, and when he talked, it was like this. Right? Wow, it's quite an honor. It's quite an honor. But just remember, word guru in satsang means one who dispels darkness. And the one who is dispelling darkness, believe me, is in you. That's the Sat Guru, the ultimate guru, the guru that is being itself, which is why I'm constantly turning the attention back to the sense of being. The sense of being out of which everything I say is arising. And it is the sense of being in you that is recognizing it as the truth. So the truth is simply recognizing the truth, and there's no people here. There's no persons. There's no personalities. There's just form giving expression to the formless, which is the nature of reality. Thank you, Sue. Sneh Ratan. Hello, Sneh. Did I say that correctly? Oops. Let's see. Oh boy, I just... there you are. Please tell me who I am. Please, please, please. No concept, no logic, no intuition. Can't be able to get outside my mind frame. Even if I reach somewhere again, I know I am still in my mind. Okay, good. Good. Okay. Right now, everybody, anybody wants to join in this, they can. Beautiful. Thank you. You want to know who you are. Good. I can't tell you who you are, because if I do, it'll be a concept, right? And you just said very clearly, no concept, no logic, no intuition, right? Okay, none of those. Direct seeing, not a concept, not an idea, a direct seeing. Okay, lay aside everything. Drop it. Drop every idea you've ever had about yourself, about your past. Drop every thought, including the thought, I can't be able to get outside my mind frame. Drop it. Even if I reach somewhere again, I know I am still in my mind. Drop it. That's a concept. It's an idea. And just stop for a second. Just set it aside. The past, just thoughts. They're not here now. It's just this moment. The future, your aspirations, where you'd like to go, what you'd like to do, even the desire for enlightenment. Drop it. Everything you think you are, this present moment, this question that's arisen in you, drop it. Drop everything. Be totally empty. No seeking, no finding, no concepts, no explanations, no imagination. What's left? All thoughts are gone, all concepts. Are you not still here? Now this sense of being, it's not an intuition, and as you said, it's not an intuition. You just know. No ideas. Just stay there. Can you drop that? Do you need an explanation of it? Does it need a concept? Is this imagination or a visualization? Or are you here? This is you. Now, don't attach any thought to it. No logic, no concept, nothing. Just that. I am. Can you drop that? Can you set that aside? No. This is you. Now just stay with it. Which is even the wrong way to say it, because there's nothing to stay with. When I say stay, what I mean is just keep your attention there and don't let it wander off into a concept, into an idea. You don't need them. You're not in your mind now, are you? You are directly perceiving. You're not conceptualizing. This isn't a thought about what you are experiencing. You are absolutely present. This is you. You without you. You without any other reference. Just being. Just keep the attention there. And when it wanders, bring it back. Don't engage in a concept. Even if I give them to you. Especially if I give them to you. Don't. You don't need them. Just stay with that. Snezzalea, dear GP, in one of your amazing videos you said that our nervous system is designed to protect us from some experiences that we really desire, because it sees it as a threat and tries to keep us safe. That video was an eye-opener for me. My nervous system seems very protective, and I'm trying to find a way to negotiate with it. Your guidance would be greatly appreciated. The primary function of the human nervous system is to stay safe. I mean, if you're not safe, you're gone, right? Which means everything else is a moot point. So, yes, it not only seems very protective, at a very fundamental level, that's its only job. That's all it cares about. There is an aspect of you that is not interested in anything but safety. Period. Doesn't care about happiness, prosperity, fun, intimacy, success, attainment, creativity. It doesn't care about any of that. None of that has value to this very primal instinct. I call that the tribe. Just exist. That's it. Survive. So now, knowing that and recognizing that you are consciously aware of it, get me some sun on my face, means that you are standing aloof from it. You are watching it. It's the function of life. Don't need to do anything, interfere, stop it, or anything. Now, when you say I'm trying to negotiate with it, right? If by negotiation you mean try to get it to be anything other than trying to keep you safe, you aren't negotiating it. You can't ask the cat to bark. It cannot do that. So if there's a negotiation going on, there's obviously something else that you desire that is being interpreted by this protective mechanism as undesirable because it's not safe to have. Now, why it believes that has to do with conditioning and upbringing and traumas and all of that kind of stuff, right? And we don't even care about that, right? So your job, and this is the essence of inner reconciliation, which I spent a couple of years putting courses together about, the essence of that is to allow yourself to feel the desire without an attachment to it. That is, I gotta have this. I gotta have this. Because if you gotta have that, and you think your happiness depends on it, and you're clutching it, inevitably you make the safety mechanism an enemy, and you create the conflict. So instead, you come to this place of the peacemaker, this one in the middle, the perfect negotiator, who has no vested interest in the outcome. And so you fully acknowledge the desire. You don't try to suppress it. If you take the side of safety, you'll try to suppress the desire, minimize it, make it small, disregard it, diminish it in some way, reframe it, sour grapes it, right? Anything, right? But if you take the side of the desire, then this protective mechanism is a problem, it's resistant, it's the thing I got to get rid of, right? No position. You sit right smack dab in the middle. And you honor both, because both are innate. Neither one of them is ever going to go away. Right? And you wouldn't want either one of them to go away. You wouldn't be human if they went away. So you're just going to sit here, honor the desire, and honor the safety mechanism. And you can simply ask, is it possible that there might be a way that I could attain this desire and to be safe at the same time? If there isn't, I accept it. You hold the cards. But if there is, I want that. And then you let that energy of pure, absolute allowing and acceptance, which creates a space that is safe, safe enough for the safety mechanism to consider the possibility of alternative strategies for keeping you safe. And that's when it'll begin to open. You can't force it. You can't have a conflict with it. The whole point is get yourself out of the conflict. Let go of your attachment to this, let go of your resistance to that, and let the two of them work it out. And they will. Right? This is one of the places I use EFT very effectively for helping that kind of transformation to take place. And now there's 22 more people certified as EFT coaches in my tradition. So, does that answer it for you, Snezleya? And I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm going to go down to the bottom here for a second. Oh, yeah. Talha says, yes, I'm new. I've been a subscriber for some time, but this is my first satsang. Oh, first time you've been here live. So good, so good, so good. Did I pronounce that right? Talha? Talha or just Talha? Talha Hassan. Because I love to try to pronounce them correctly. Donnie Dreamer, hi from the Gold Coast, Australia. Be a passerby. Yes, yes. I just wanted to down there to make sure people were seeing, because I know I'm not, I want to make sure I'm seeing everything. Susan, I burnt the turkey. Hello from Toronto. Oh, yes, that's right. This is Thanksgiving in Canada. So happy Thanksgiving to you all, and my Canadian brothers and sisters. So good. And I'm sorry about the turkey. I'm sure. Chinese takeout, right? I've done that. It's like, okay, we're gonna get some dim sum. Sophie, hello, dear GP Lau. Good to see you. So good to hear you. I'm now living in Portugal. Much love, Sophie. Wow, great. 2 people in Portugal now. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You used to be in London, I think, right? Mary, this morning had an experience of hearing my husband's voice telling me to get out of bed when in a semi-sleep state. It happened 3 times. He was actually downstairs and was not there. I heard his voice quite audibly. Can you explain what I experienced? Yes, you were between dreaming and waking. And, in dreams you hear voices, and they're all in your head, right? But they appear to be objective, coming from the outside. So, in fact, all the voices we hear are always just in the head. They're always in consciousness. They never originate from outside. So, that voice that appeared to be coming from out there wasn't. It's really very simple, but it's very useful to see that, oh, wow. Now it's the question, well, I wonder if any of it is actually outside. Because you heard it very distinctly, as if it were actually originating externally. Nothing originates externally, ever. Right? Ponder that deeply. There's a powerful little message there for you, because that imaginary boundary between sleep or dream and waking is imaginary, and you just had a wonderful doorway open up that demonstrated exactly that. Beautiful, Mary. Talha, I'm a freshman in college and I have a habit of procrastinating. I just can't stop. I don't know why. Now I'm left with so much workload that I've been having suicidal thoughts. Any advice? Well, certainly don't take the prompting of the suicidal thoughts. Right? All that is what's happening is you're procrastinating for some reason. Okay, so what? Okay? It has some consequences, but so what? Now, you've been taught all your life, procrastinating is a bad thing. You shouldn't be doing that. You're a bad person for procrastinating. And now I'm a bad person. There's all this heaviness. Oh my God, this workload. I'm getting heavier. Oh, I want out of this. I want out of this. Right? Now, just stop for a second, Taha. Come here. Just come over here. Step on with me over here on this side of the lens. Right? And notice that all of this stuff is playing out in your mind. The procrastinating, the sense you can't stop, the sense of urgency about it, that you need to stop. So this conflict. Oh my God, I can't stop. I gotta stop. Can't stop. Gotta stop. Can't stop. Right? I got such a workload. Just step away from it for just a second. Really. It's okay. It'll be there if you want to. If you want it when we're done, and just come on back here. Even the suicidal thoughts out there somewhere, right? Which is really just because the tension is so great, the conflict is so great that you want out of it. Well, duh, right? Okay. Let me show you a much better way out of it, much more living alive, right? Where you don't actually have to completely cut everything off, right? All the joy of life as well, right? We don't need that. And just step over here. Take a couple of deep breaths. Remember, at the root of the procrastination, there's just something, right? There's something in you that really doesn't want to do it, or is afraid of doing it, is afraid of the consequences of it, right? So let's be really gentle and kind with you, right? I've procrastinated. Everybody has. It's not a sin. Right? And I notice that it's just, there's a particular pattern in your nervous system that wants to put things off, right? Now, don't put any overhead on it. No judgment, no criticism. Just notice that that's there. Right? And that thought, I just can't stop. It's just a thought. Put it aside. You don't know that. If you really could not stop, you wouldn't even ask me the question, would you? Right? That's a feeling, right? That I have to stop it and I don't know how. So drop both of it. Drop the have to, and then the I don't know how won't matter, right? You don't have to. Right? You simply don't have to. Right? And it won't be any kind of personal character flaw of yours. It's something, there's a desire to procrastinate. I don't really want to do that. I want to put this off. Am I afraid of it? Well, let's just feel that for a second. So let's give this some loving attention, whatever it is that doesn't want to do something. Can you feel? It feels kind of like a scared little girl. Tala, is that a? I think from the picture it looks. I can't really tell though. So, a scared little one. Okay. It feels like it's just kind of the scared one that's being forced into stuff, and it's a little bit uncertain of itself, right? Now imagine that feeling of that ends up being procrastination. Imagine that really is this little child that's afraid. It's afraid of getting hurt. Maybe it did get punished for things that, right? And so it really kind of wants to draw away. So let's just be present with that. Forget the rest. I don't know why. Left with, the consequences, the bad thoughts. Set all of that aside, and let's just put our attention here. Now, if you saw that energy as this tender, innocent, frightened little child, would you be trying to get rid of it, push it away, make it stop? Or you just kind of take it up. Pick her up, set her on your lap, stroke her hair. Everything's okay. It's okay. Can you feel that little one getting some attention now from you, rather than a fight? Now just stay with that for a little bit, okay? We don't have to do anything more. I'm not going to give any special strategy for life. I'm going to bring you just back down into your own heart, where these things really originate from. It's a place of pure innocence. That child is innocent, isn't it? Right? It's pure. Totally pure. So just be with that little one for a bit. Nothing more, okay? And I'll check in with you later. Johanna. Beautiful. Thank you, Talha. Thank you for sharing that. Really, so very brave. Now let's just be really, really gentle. Johanna. As Douglas Harding indicated, for those of you who don't know, Douglas Harding created this very clever process to help non-dual awakening called the Headless Way. It's very funny and it's very good and very powerful. As Douglas Harding indicated, it is because the self is empty that makes it so satisfying. The answer to my seeking seems to be nothing, to be no thing. Yes, you are the answer to the seeking, and you are no thing. Things appear to you, but the self is empty. And by empty, I don't mean nothingness. What I mean is that, in its essence, it is not itself a quality, but all qualities arise from it. If it was a quality, it couldn't be infinite, right? It would have a boundary. There would be the self and something else. So that emptiness simply refers not to a nothingness, but to the nature of the infinite, the nature of the self, the nature of being. That's not a thing. And so when a thing appears, a form, notice that it never appears isolated. Our attention usually goes to the form, but the form can only appear in an infinite universe that gives it the background against which it can appear. So no thing ever appears by itself. Buddha referred to this as dependent arising. Every thing that appears is the entire universe. And our attention just goes to this or that or this, but it is one appearance of the one entity that is not an appearance. This is the true nature of emptiness, is simply no thingness. Like the exercise I did earlier with Sneh, of just drop everything, drop all things, and what's left? The thingless sense of being. It's empty. Thank you for that, Johanna. Mary. Oh, Mary continued on this. But did I answer it for you, Mary? It's actually very simple. A beautiful little doorway opened for you. Faith, thanks. Oh, Mashik in Arabic. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow. That's beautiful. I love the Arabic language. Oh, my goodness. Just the way it... Oh, it's just so beautiful, aesthetically. For your answers. Thanks for your answers. Now I got it deeply that the mind is a stream of thoughts, and the body is a set of harmonious functions, and I am neither the body nor the mind. Yes. Consciousness is the awareness, and the other is just this constant flow. Beautiful, natural, harmonious, and just this thought intrudes itself on this, in this stupendous flow of beauty and harmony, and says, something's wrong, this one little thought. And it's like, you hold up your thumb and it can block out the sun, right? This one little thought, which then tries to completely color this experience, thinking, it should be different, it should be different. There is no body, there is no mind as a thing. There's only this constant, perpetual, harmonious flow. And the body and the mind are the same substance even, just like different vibrations. Like red light is just a slower vibration than blue light. They're both light. They're both exactly the same substance. This is the beautiful modulation that makes the manifest world possible. And without the manifest world, the unmanifest would be a non-entity. Right? The two are one. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form. You cannot separate the two. Christian, hello, my friend. How are you? Wonderful. Good to see you. Elias, what is the basic difference between conceptual understanding and experiential understanding? I almost know everything, though I'm still suffering with my illusion, though it is reducing time to time. Thank you for that question. Right? The conceptual is simply the mind trying to give some meaning and form, okay? Which is okay. We have to do it all the time. I have to do it because if I don't, I can't point you towards that which is formless. But what's an experiential understanding? Well, like I did with Sneh before. Let's do it again. I like doing it, right? Just set aside all the concepts. Okay? Notice that they're simply appearing to you. They're about you, but they're not you, right? Like the reflection in the mirror is a good image of you, but it's not you, right? So just put your attention now on the sense of being. The awareness of concepts, the awareness of experiences, the awareness of illusions even, right? Couldn't be an illusion without something that is not an illusion there. Right? That simple sense of being. It's not a concept, is it? It's not imaginary. You're not making it up. It's not a thought. Now we can try to put that into words, right? Which is useful. This is what I do all the time, right? But that which I'm putting into words, right? The words are a representation. They're a reflection. They're artist rendering. They're not that which is being represented. Now just go back. All the concepts, the thoughts, the ideas, they're all being experienced by this sense of being. That sense of being, you don't need a concept for it, do you? And it's not conceptual, is it? That is experiential understanding. You just know it. That's it. That's all there is to it, my friend. Keep your attention there. Because this is what is always being experienced. But it's not really even an experience, is it? It's what's having the experience, which is beyond even experience. So that's what's meant by experiential understanding. It's a knowing that just is, that is not conceptual. Right? Again, nothing wrong with the conceptual, right? And it can point you back towards that which is transcendent of conceptual. But it's simply that. You know that you are, right? And you know that you're aware that you are. How do you know that? That's not a concept. It's a direct experience. Stay with that. That's it. That's it. Don't need to make it any more complicated than that. Get it, Elias? Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Make sure I got everything. I was still suffering with my illusion thought. Though it is reducing time to time. Okay. The sense of suffering. Right? What is that sense of suffering? Let's take it apart. Not just as a concept, suffering. There's an experience there, isn't there? Of discontent. Something's missing, all right? What I want you to do is take a step back. Step back into that sense we were just there. Of just the pure sense of being. And now look at the experience of suffering from there. You'll notice there's feelings in the body, and there's thoughts in the mind saying, I'm still in my illusion. Right? But wait a minute. Maybe the mind is still in illusion, but are you, which are aware of all of those thoughts and the experience that the mind calls suffering and the resistance to having that experience, is what is perceiving that, is that an illusion? Or is that real? It has to be real, doesn't it? Right? An illusion can't have an illusion. Something real is there. So now, at that point, there's no more illusion, is there? The illusion is being seen as illusion. Now, it can still be there, right? If I'm in the desert and I see a mirage, right, I know it's a mirage, so I don't chase after it, and I don't suffer because of it. Right? Even though, for my senses, it appears as if it's still there, right? But I know it isn't. I know that it's just an experience. So I am no longer in illusion. I'm aware of what appears. What appears is not what is so. So you stay there. And staying there, which means simply recognizing that this is the place from which you are seeing, the illusion will stop. The suffering resulting from the illusion will fall away. Because that's just the mind saying it should be different than it is. Right? That's all it is. This is experiential understanding. How's that, Elias? Beautiful questions today. Yay. Jay said, thank you, G. As I sit more with it, what I decided on doing becomes more clear, but there's still time until then, so life will probably come along with something better. Thank you so much, G. Yeah, life will come along with what it comes. Yes, you're doing the right thing, right? Just stay present. That's it. Music for pets. Hi, GP. Thanks. Hello to you. Question about physical pain. I have a toothache, and I'm trying to be aware and not identified with it. I'm also trying to allow the pain and reduce resistance. Any advice? Well, yeah, first off, make sure you remember, I'm not a doctor. I would never tell anybody, don't have it looked at, and have the dentist look at it and that sort of thing. But, you say, I am trying to be aware and not identified with it. Okay? Now, there's this ache in your tooth, right? You're feeling a pain. Okay, feel the pain. Right? We're not trying to deny the pain. I'm not trying to make the pain go away, right? I'm only dealing with my thoughts about it. I'm also trying to allow the pain and reduce resistance. Let me bring your attention to something, right? You're not trying to allow the pain. You are. It's there, right? You're aware of this pain. Now, also notice you're aware of the resistance to the pain, which is perfectly natural. That's also part of the body. The body doesn't want to feel pain, right? When it has pain, the body says, I'm supposed to act on it. And if you can act on it, you should, right? If you can't, right, then you simply are aware of the fact that the body wants to act on this, but you can't. So now you're aware of a pain and the resistance to it. You're also aware of trying to be aware and not identified. So that feeling of wanting to identify with the resistance, I want to get away from the pain, is also being observed, isn't it? Put all of your attention on that which is aware of all of it. The resistance, the pain, trying to be aware, trying to not be identified with it. Isn't all of that appearing on the screen in front of the actual awareness itself? Now, is the awareness in pain, or is pain simply a temporary modulation that it is experiencing? Bring your attention, the sense of identification, to that which is aware. That's all you have to do. Right? So even the resistance now you see is on the other side of the lens. Right? So that's okay. Resistance is there. Of course it's there. No big deal. Right? People, oh, I got to get rid of my resistance. I got to allow. I got to allow. I got to allow. Right? Can you get it? Can you get it? I got to allow. I got to allow. Right? I'm trying to allow. Obviously, it's nonsense, right? Allowing is simply recognizing it's already here. Oh, okay. It's already here. Resistance is here. Got it. The desire to not identify. Well, that's here. Just bring all the attention back to that which is aware of it. And isn't that where you're actually present? Isn't that where you are actually viewing it from? Stay there. And then watch. And you'll find the rest just beginning to slip away. And everything will just begin to harmonize. Then you really are holding on to nothing, because the awareness of anything is not holding on to anything. And that's what you are. That's where you are. Lotto Base. Hi, GP. Didn't know you drove a car. Thought you had a magic carpet or teleported via your thoughts. I do. This is my magic carpet. A 2019 Hyundai Kona magic carpet. Joking kindly. Glad to see you're a normal person with a special, blessed, enlightened spirit. This is the Buddha-mobile. I actually named her Lakshmi. And we've been a lot of places. We've been a lot of places together. I hadn't owned a car since 2006. Well, I mean, I hadn't bought one. I owned it, and then I sold that one off, and I haven't had one because I lived in New York and all over the place. So I like my little car. And it's a nice, comfortable place, even when the wind is blowing so severely you wouldn't be able to hear a word I'm saying. I have my refuge in Lakshmi. Thank you, Lotto. Ah, beautiful. Am I the only one experiencing GP's connection breaking up at times? Maybe. Maybe, but yeah, it's hard to tell, right? I've got very good reception, and it's been consistent. I'm actually even up to 4 bars here. So could be YouTube. I don't know. So sorry, Mary. This one I can't know. And Tala says, yes, I am new. Wonderful. Oh, Donnie Dreamer, saw you. Back. Bo Snarsky. Ramana, Nisargadatta, Maharaj, Papaji, Muji, and you. Wow. What a lineage for me. A humbling realization of the privilege to be a part of it. Amen. Me too. I'm in awe. I'm in awe. I mean, remember, folks, how many thousands of lifetimes you've gone through and either never heard the Dharma, never heard this, or never paid any attention to it. It kind of makes you humble, doesn't it? And then suddenly now in this lifetime, right? And to think, many people, they may even only have heard and had to travel hundreds of miles on foot in order to go and see somebody, a true master. And look at this: Ramana, Nisargadatta, Papaji, Muji. Look at everything just in abundant availability to us. This couldn't be a better time, even though there's an enormous darkness, intensified, calcified around human consciousness right now. What an enormous opportunity. You have not only heard the Dharma, you've responded to it. This is auspicious. The mind, the darkness of the mind, its days are numbered, right? The devil has been kicked out of heaven. It's wandering to and fro over the earth because he knows he has but a short time, right? You have seen, you've heard, you've recognized, and you have taken in and are chewing on the Dharma. What a phenomenal thing. Yeah. What an auspicious thing. Yes. Wow. What a humbling realization. The privilege to be a part of this. I feel exactly the same way. Yeah, that was pretty good. Well, good. Thank you, Talha. I hope that helps. I really do. Nawaf, good to see you. Hello, GP and everyone. Nawaf from Saudi. A question, how to make decisions from awareness and not from the mind, which come from a thought from the past. Well, the awareness doesn't like make decisions, they arise out of it. And you're not how to take a decision from awareness. You're not sitting there as a negotiator between awareness and decision making. Drop out of the decision making process, be the awareness, and then just notice the decision making process as it happens, and know that you're not deciding anything. There's simply a decision is unfolding, and there will be a deciding thought, but there will be no decider. You follow that? Be the awareness. Thoughts, competing directions, and eventually a decision happen. There's a choosing, but there's no chooser. Awareness is not a chooser, right? Because awareness has no preference. It is not sitting there going, I want this or that. It is awareness, so it is just pure and spacious and open, and all options appear in front of it. And it has no preference for any option. How could it? It's not someone to have a preference who wants it to go in some direction. If you're feeling a preference, well, notice that that too is something simply being perceived by awareness. And so you let the decision making happen. Hands off. It will. Because that's the harmonious nature of being. Right? And pass no judgment. Right? Because a decision will be made and there'll be something, oh, was that the right decision? That could be a good decision. Also appearing to awareness. Take your position, the actual position you've always been in, and watch the process happen. Choosing, no chooser. And it's all this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful unfoldment. Oh, hit my 2 hours. Still got a bunch here. Not sure I can get to all of them. Wow. Mr. Miyagi. I love that name. That's so good. How do you stay as awareness when mind is such a habit? Well, what's aware of the mind, the function of the mind, and the fact that the mind is a habit? What is aware of that impulse to identify with the mind? What is aware of this thought saying, how do I stay as awareness? Right? You can't stay as awareness. Right? The idea that you can stay as awareness makes you something else trying to attain awareness. But isn't awareness required for there to be a thought, I need to stay as awareness? You don't stay there. You realize you've never been anywhere else and couldn't be. Could you? No, really look. Really look. This isn't just an idea for you to accept because this old guy sitting in a car said so. Oh, old guy in a car must be the truth, right? Don't accept it because look very carefully. What is aware? There's an awareness. There's this thought of an I that feels separate from that and is trying to be aligned with it, that feels like it's constantly being its attention is constantly being distracted back to the mind. And attention is constantly being distracted back to the mind. But what's aware of the attention? What's aware of the attention when it's focused on awareness? What's aware of attention when it's focused on the mind? To whom is awareness, to whom is the attention reporting? There's something cognizing wherever attention happens to go. It even notices, oh, attention is pointing towards me, towards awareness. Oh, attention is turning towards the mind. Oh, attention is habitually, it's like forever just kind of going back to the mind, back to the mind, back to the mind. Who's noticing that? Something that's beyond even the attention, isn't it? Whatever it is that's monitoring attention. Attention isn't monitoring it. It's just like a flashlight looking around. And yeah, for most everybody, there's a habitual place that flashlight wants to turn. Right? A familiar place. It doesn't want to look off the dark. No, over here. But isn't that too being seen? So notice, how do you stay as awareness? Notice that is a thought that says, I am over here, awareness is over here, and I'm trying to get to it. The seeker and the seeking are both being watched by what is sought. You following? This is the realization, right? I have always been that. That is the true I. That which is hearing my words. That which all attention is registering at. The point of cognition. That is the conscious being. That is the true I. The I that is distracted is a thought. That is a thought of I that is appearing to the actual I. Follow? Got to speed up a little bit here. Sarah asks Tala, do you feel better? Right. We'll just stay with this, Tala, until you do. Right. This is your tribe. This is your place. You have unlimited support here. Unlimited support. Okay. Through anything. We love you. Tatiana. Hello, Tatiana. Oh my goodness. Oh, Tala answers, Sarah sends, yeah, I feel better. Yeah. Also, Talha, anybody here, and she says, thank you for asking, anybody here, I'm going to reiterate it, who would like to get some complimentary EFT sessions from my current crop of soon-to-be certified EFT coaches, right? Which is tapping for helping the body release the kind of stuff we're talking about. Please just send a message to support@gpwalsh.com, and I will put you in touch with a pool of people who'll be more than happy to work with you, because they're new, freshly minted coaches, and they want experience, but they're good, right? So I'm not sending you off to like haircutter school, right, where you may get a bad haircut. You'll get a good haircut, I promise. Beautiful. Mary, I hope I'm asking this correctly. Is everything we are experiencing outside our internal stuff projected outward? If so, is it always so? Yes. I'll make it very simple. Everything you experience is the mind's beliefs projected on what appears to be external, believing it to be external, and now it thinks that it's having this experience and is ignorant of the fact that it's generating it. And that's the key. And it is always so. And it is a simple thing, right? The mind struggles with it because what, right? But that's the essential ignorance. You are not what you experience. And all experience is a projection of the mind, which means it is not a reality. It is an illusion. The reality is the witness. witnessing is reality. David and Elaine, thank you so much again for Satsang GP. It creates such peace to be here. And on this occasion, no questions arising, just being with presence, guided and accompanied by your beautiful words. Oh, I just love having you guys there. I feel your spirit. I really do. You too. Especially what's beautiful is you as a couple. Right? I mean, individually, of course, but that's an additional beauty just to see that. Like, it's really heartwarming. Lamont in St. Louis. What's up, G? What's up, Lamont? Good to have you. Sarah says, my pleasure, Talha. I was the same when I was at First University. I think all the procrastinators at university have a party once a semester. It would be the social... Oh, it'd be huge! Oh, thank you, Sarah. Sarah, by the way, Talha, Sarah is one of my... She's a certified inner reconciliation coach. I'm soon also certified an additional certification. And she's a university professor about to finish her PhD. And she really knows how to work. So she'd be a good person for you to work with. Yeah. Talk about a mentor. This lady's amazing. Tatiana. So, isn't it mind that doesn't want to experience pain? Yes. Body nervous system is sending a signal by creating pain that something needs help, something needs attention. Yes. The mind creates resistance, right? The body does not resist, right? It responds, right, in the way it was meant to respond. The mind makes interpretations of it. It should be like this, or I shouldn't do something, or I should do something, right? And that's what causes suffering. Right? Otherwise, it's just pain. And I'm not saying pain is wonderful, right? And the natural reaction to pain, the natural response to pain is do whatever you can to be free of it. And if everything you do to be free of it doesn't work, you simply surrender to it. Right? And that can be experienced without suffering. It's subtle, but boy, is it powerful. Georgia B. Thanks everyone for your questions, and thank you, G, for your beautiful words and explanations. Not food for thought, but rather food for the soul. Ah, beautiful. Faith Face, as a body is only a thought, can awareness heal the weakness of the vision, losing weight? Yes, of course it can. But, this is really important, don't make that a priority. That's the wake on the boat. Focus on knowing who you are and leave the rest to God. As Christ said, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and its righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Right? Lay not your treasure up in heaven or on earth, where moth and dust doth corrupt, where thieves break through and steal, but lay your treasure up in heaven, where the moth doesn't eat it and the thieves can't steal it. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God, the truth of your being, and all the rest will be added unto you. So yes, it can. But, early in my own spiritual experience, I practiced metaphysical healing. Right? And I lost the thing here. I practiced metaphysical healing, and I found the emphasis was so much on, making physiological changes that the essence of it was lost, and I stopped. I put it aside that something's really wrong here. And then I realized that the mind wants to focus on getting a result of some sort. And so it does not seek God, it seeks heaven. It seeks heaven without God. And you can't. Heaven is the consequence of God. The fruit, right, of better health, better experiences, more intimacy, is the fruit of the tree. It's not the tree. It's the wake of the boat. It's not where the boat is headed. Right? So put all the rest of it aside and focus all your attention on knowing who you are, and letting go of all the ideas that it's a problem, I'm overweight, I can't see very well. Let all those thoughts go, because they're just thoughts. And just be totally present with your experience. And then put your attention on that which is having the experience. Oh, Tala. And Tala, you and Sarah definitely need to connect. Music for pets. Thank you, GP. Sage words. Always come back to who we are. Yes. Tatiana says, sorry for the incomplete message. My computer is jumping. Mary Sykes, thank you. Wonderful satsang. Thanks again from Jay. Sarah's answering. You on Facebook? Yes. You guys get together, will you? You definitely need to. Sarah loves to be the mentor. And man, is she good at it. And you'll learn power from her. Talhan. Beautiful, beautiful. Faith, you touched me when you quote the words of my beloved Jesus. My beloved Jesus, too. So, again, anybody wants to get in touch, especially Tala, you and Sarah, send an email. I don't want people putting their personal emails here. Send an email to support@gpwalsh.com, and I'll put you guys together, okay? Now I'm a matchmaker. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity to experience truth, love, and wisdom, says Ava. Thank you. Wonderful. Okay. Well, that brings satsang to a close, doesn't it? Well, thank you all for being here. And just remember, right? There are many things in life we have to deal with. There's all sorts of interlaced ambiguities that we have to kind of separate and heal. But the essence of them is simply the knowledge of who you are. Know who you are, and it will resolve all doubts and dissolve all earthly problems. Thank you all. Thank you. Namaste.